Have you ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes when you order from an e-commerce site? Family firm HR Higgins Coffee Man Limited has been roasting and selling coffee since 1942. The company has a shop in the Mayfair area of London and also runs a successful e-commerce site. This allows customers as far away as Australia to order and enjoy its fine coffees and teas. So, how do you combine such a seemingly old-fashioned and traditional business with e-commerce? Let's take you through what happens when you place an order with HR Higgins. The whole operation is housed in the same building. Indeed, even in the office where Divyani picks up and checks the order, a window looks out onto the coffee roasting process and fulfillment team. There's a reason for this. HR Higgins has a policy of delivering the freshest, best quality coffee available. As Susie and Lynn receive and process the order given to them by Divyani, Rudy, the coffee roaster, is on hand to replenish and provide that coffee.
The basic design of this machine has hardly changed really since probably about the First World War. The basic principles are exactly the same as how my grandfather would have roasted coffee when he was learning. This is the roasting process, and this is where we begin with the sacks of raw coffee. Each one of these is a different kind of coffee from all different countries, and the coffee itself, when it's unroasted, is quite different from roasted coffee. It's quite green or yellowish in appearance. They don't have a lot of smell, and by putting them through the roasting process, we create the flavours, enhancing the flavours that are contained already within the beans, bringing out the best characteristics of them. We pour the beans into the air vaya, and then a fan blows the beans up a pipe into the hopper, which is at the top of the roaster. So once the beans are in the hopper above the drum where they're going to be roasted, we light the gas to heat up the drum. Once the drums reach 200 degrees centigrade, then we close the slide there and the beans will drop down into the drum and start to begin their roasting process. The heat starts building up in the drum, it gets hotter and hotter, and the beans slowly change colour from a pale green to a light brown, and then they get gradually darker. Medium roast is slightly shorter, and a dark roast a little bit longer, and a very dark roast longer still. And we're really listening out also for the sound of the beans starting to crack. The cell structures break down and the beans begin to expand and lose moisture. You can feel the heat when you pull the beans out of the machine as well. You might see a little curl of smoke coming off the beans. We're constantly looking, by taking out the sample line and back, to get it to a nice even colour that we're looking for. The skill of roasting is anticipating what's going to happen next, because you have to be one step ahead all the time of what's going on. So you have to think to yourself, how hot is the roaster? Is there enough heat to keep it roasting to the colour I want? And then control by turning the gas down exactly how much heat you're giving the beans. So, having achieved the right colour, the beans come out into the cooling tray and a fan blows cold air up through the beans to cool them down.
After the coffee has been roasted, it's put into these special vacuum bags. These keep the coffee as fresh as possible until the order is made up. Coffee is provided as beans and can also be ground if required. HR Higgins also blends and sells many teas, and these are also made to order. After weighing, the order is made up and made ready for dispatch. Given that some of these boxes have to travel to Japan, Russia and all over the world, special care is taken at this final stage to ensure that all items are packed carefully and robustly. HR Higgins is a good example of how a long-running traditional business has successfully embraced technology. It's modern, efficient, and still manages to retain that personal touch.